Hello, hello. It's a little bit past 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Daylight Time, and I'm Donna Mulholland, and I'm here to do some more live painting with you. It's rainy today, so it's a perfect day for me to be inside and painting. And hello, I can see some people joining in. Hello. Oh, yeah, I can wave. I love that. Wave. I'll give people a few more minutes before I start painting. I don't have a real plan of what I'm going to do, except that I'm going to be working on this piece that I started last week on our live session. And the hilarious thing about this is I put this painting up this morning as sort of a, what's the word, reminder that I was going to be painting live today. And of course, it ended up in the top hashtags and artists of Instagram and original art and all the ones that I would love to make that I don't usually. So this one that I'm going to paint over was really popular. But I think that's really important because when we're working in our studios, we can get a little hung up on trying to produce a perfect painting. And I think we do better if we sort of paint more and go beyond our comfort zone and make messes and learn new things. So every painting is just one stage in another painting. I guess that's how I have to look at it. Let me wave at a few more folks. Hello, hello, I see some familiar names. Good morning. I hope you're having a good morning where you are. So I think I'll start now. So hello, and I'll talk a little bit, and then I'm going to paint, and I'll try to talk and paint, but I'm not always successful at that. They kind of use different parts of the brain, so sometimes I actually paint better when I don't talk. But we'll see how I make out. I'll try to check in about 10 minutes to check comments. Maybe I'll even set a timer. That's a good idea. Let's do that. And that will. Trusty iPad. Timer. 10 minutes. Okay, so when we hear a ding, it means I should check and say hello. So, this is the painting that I painted last week. It was kind of just a first layer or two. There are things I like about it, and there are things I don't like about it. One of the first things I do when I'm looking at a painting, the first stage is usually intuitive and free, which you saw if you watched. And you can also go to my YouTube channel, Donna Mulholland Studio, if you'd like to see how I did this stage. But that first stage is very free and fast sometimes, and then the subsequent layers, for me at least, usually tend to be a little bit more careful. So one of the tools I use is, one of the things about this painting is, in person, it's got lights on it right now, but in person it's a little bit dark. I think it's a little bit on the dark, and it could have more values. That's a great place to start with a painting. Usually with acrylic paintings, we like to start dark and then build our lights in. Kind of the opposite of what we do in watercolor, where we try to build our lights in at first. But with acrylic, I've definitely got darks in there. And then what I like to do is, and I'm not sure if you can see it very well, but I like to look at a black and white version of it. Oh, you can see, oh there, a black and white version of it, which I used to do with the Value Viewer app, but unfortunately they haven't updated it. So this is just using the photo editor that comes with my iPad. So I just change it to black and white, and I can see the values there. I can remember being told at one time you should have at least 5 values in a painting. That might have been watercolor, but I think there are probably 5 here, but I still find it a little bit dark. So I'm going to turn that off. Oops. Perfect. So what shall I do to get started? A few other things about it. I love the little chops of color one thing that really bothers me is that these two shapes are kind of in the same line. I think they would be better if this one was lower so that my eye would kind of flow through the painting instead of kind of getting stuck here. And then this green is kind of in the middle. But just because I see those things, sometimes my intentions in moving to the next step with the painting and what I actually do are different because my intuition takes over. So I think I'm going to start with, I don't want to be too careful, even though I'm trying to think about the elements of design and see what's in this painting. I still like to keep some intuition and freshness and freedom into it. So I'm going to start with with a jumbo paint marker that I have. I haven't used it in a while. It's a Nissin Jumbo solid paint marker. It's acrylic paint and it makes a nice mark, kind of like a pastel, but it's acrylic. So I don't want to be too careful with this painting, so I'm just gonna add, not too much, but a few marks with that. And I can paint right over that, and what I like about it, you might not even really be able to see that. The other thing I'm going to do, actually, I think what I'll do first is I'm going to try to address this bit of these two things being even. It's not a good brush. Let's try another. I'm using the same palette as I used last week, which is kind of phthalo turquoise, a phthalo blue, white, and Indian yellow, and then another kind of more Prussian-like blue. I actually think I want this to be down a little bit. So even though that was actually my favorite part of the whole painting, I'm going to get rid of it. And also what you can't see about this painting is where these were first layers, there are actually parts that aren't really, what's the word, covered over. I'm just going to blend this in a bit if I can, that green a bit. Needs a bit of white maybe. And there's always the chance that this will, you know, be a total mess, and that's fine. I'm still learning. I think there are always bonus points for not being too careful. Okay, that's good. I definitely want that. And the other thing I want to get in a few more values. And also I want some different shapes, different shaped brushes. So as much as I usually like round brushes, I like square brushes. One of my favorite colors is this green. I want more shapes and sort of lines in this painting. Not everybody's taste, but I've really been thinking about working on marks making more instead of just flowy shapes. Nothing wrong with flowy shapes. Right, so I want to get some lighter values in here too, in other places. And it's okay if you liked it the other way better. My feelings won't be hurt. But you don't necessarily need to tell me. Can always paint another one, so it's always best to be brave. like to have one thing I do like is I do have kind of an upward flow going here. The eye is kind of moving like that. I need more, this is still a little bit too on the same level as this. I want this to come down a bit, so I'm going to get some red. Oh, and we were just talking oh yeah, I'm using mostly Nova Color today. I also use Chroma Gold and Golden. I want to bring this down a little bit. I got green in my yellow somehow. Well, that should make for... And I like to create variation in my color, so this is coming a bit. I might bring this down. I also really like the pink I had. I think I want to get some pink, maybe a little red up here. That red is a bit too transparent. Well, I don't really like that much. Oh, there's my timer. I actually don't like that at all. I'm going to kind of take that off. I'll turn my timer off. And I'm just going to wipe off that part I don't like, although it leaves kind of a nice... It might add some nice depth to it. So I'm just using a paper. Ooh, I like actually that. Ooh, I like the way the green came through. Nice. I like that. So, I want to do something here. Right, and I think I want, do I want the pink here or here? Maybe both. Let's see. Yeah, I like this pink here. Brush is too small. Beware of the small brush. There we go. And I want some up there. There we go. And maybe a little bit here. This needs something. Just want to bring a little more variation through there. Maybe I'll put some and sometimes I just use my fingers if I want kind of a soft edge. Sometimes I use glazing gel. It's a bit busy. I'm not in love with that yet. But I was going to stop for a moment and see if there were any questions. Hello to those that are watching. If you have a question, feel free to type something in right now. Thanks for the waves. Okay, no questions? Okay, I'm going to come back. I think I want this to join somehow. Does anybody else's white look like that? Oh, how do you decide how to start? Oh, well, the video I did last week, which you can find, or the Instagram live that I did last week, it's on my YouTube channel, Donna Mulholland Studio. You can watch how I started this one there. I tend to start quite intuitively. I have favorite colors that I use. It really depends. I should say I have a couple of ways of starting. This piece was kind of totally intuitive. The only thing I had in my head was I wanted it to be a piece that has sort of marks and shapes in it rather than just be all flowy. But sometimes if I'm working on a series, I might have something more specific in mind that I want to explore. I may already have the palette set. There may be certain feelings or themes or shapes that are in a series that I will try to interpret in another way in a series piece. But this was just a free piece. And I've also been trying to use more blue and purple. So let me see. So I hope that helped, Rebel Zen Art. Okay, so I want to get some white on. This piece is bothering me, so let's get, that's nice. I like that. I need a bit more. Where do I want it? Usually try to have color. I usually try to have things like 3 times in a painting, which I don't know if that makes any sense at all, but I think I want some more blue, and then I think this one is going to be just about done. I'm going to stand back for a minute. Standing back from it is a good thing to do. I don't like to get too fiddly, so that's why I'm going to introduce some more big things of color. So it doesn't look too, I don't want all of that. A little bit's good. So I've got lots of blue, but with some variation. Whoops. I think I'm gonna paint right over that, as much as I loved it. Yeah, I'm liking it. Maybe just a little bit more green down here. Just a little bit. It blends in a little bit more. then when I get right down to, oh, I might want to change that a little bit. I think I'm going to use my fingers a bit here. I just want to break that up a little. I like it, but it's a little too, it looks a little bit contrived, so we'll break that up there. Just, there we go. And then I want a little bit of red, I think, here. And 1, 2, 3, and there. That's not bad. I'm going to stand back and have a look at that now. And I'll take some paint off. Just using a Kleenex, sorry, paper towel. Take a little bit off. Again, I don't like it to look too contrived. That looks better. And it gives it a little movement, which I like. So now I've kind of got a line that's going up here. Maybe I need something through here. Maybe a little bit of turquoise, or let's make a little bit to bring it together a little bit. And then I definitely need a little bit of red, just a little. Goes and there. I think that's pretty good. The only thing I'm not sure about is this, so let's let it, there we go. That's better. I like that. Yeah. Okay. Okay, I think it's done. Yeehaw. So I've got some movement that draws your eye. I've got, in terms of a focal point, this is really meant to be my focal point, although this would certainly be a secondary focal point. I've got areas where there's lots of space where your eye can rest. And this reminds me of, it has a feeling of movement, of being near water, the green and blue, the white movement of perhaps the wind or the waves, and then bright orange and red is powerful energy within that sort of healing vibe. So thank you. I think that's it. If you have any more questions, I will stay here for just a second. Thank you, Rebels and Art. I appreciate that. I appreciate everybody who joined. I'm going to try to save it. I'll move out of the way so you can look at it. I'm going to save it, and I'll save the live session and save it in my stories, hopefully, if I do it correctly, if I don't have too much paint on my fingers. So yeah, that's going to be it for today. Thank you so much, everyone who joined. I'll probably do this again next week on next Thursday, which I think might even be, that's going to be May, isn't it? Wow. Anyway, thanks so much.